Every picture tells us a story. Inside an image, there could be a lot of info stored which can be processed using different techniques. And today we are going to understand one such technique, image processing. Image processing is the process of converting an image to a digital format and performing various functions on it in order to obtain a better image or extract other relevant information from it. It is a sort of signal time in which the input is an image such as a video frame or image, and then output can be an image or attributes connected with that image. And in this image processing lesson, you will learn how to work with images and videos using OpenCV package. So if you're interested, sit tight and grab all the information that you can as we are about to start our video in no time. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any new update or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoy this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, so make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on the video for any query or suggestions and I will respond to your comments.
Okay, so here we are on to the PyCharm IDE and I'll be proceeding on with a hands-on for this respective image processing projects onto the PyCharm IDE only. Now you could use any of the IDEs respective to your convenience, like you could take up the VS Code or Jupyter Notebooks, whatever you feel like. But that shall be a offline IDE. You are not preferred to use of the online IDEs. The reason for that is because right here you'll be giving some access to your cameras. Secondly, you'll be having some XML files, so with the help of those XML files only you'll be proceeding on with the program. So you should have a folder for storing up those XML files, and this respective method is not at all allowed onto the online IDs. Okay, so please make sure that you are having any of the respective offline IDE. Okay, great. So here I'll be starting up with a project, and that is the smile detection project. Okay, what does this mean and what we are going to have up in this? So as I mentioned up, we'll be using up the OpenCV library. So from that, with the help of OpenCV, I will be giving up the access to your camera. Okay, I'll be giving up the access to your camera, and your camera gets opened up after you wrote up the complete program, all the specifications, all the things you put up. When you run out your program, your camera gets the access and the camera has been opened. After that, now if you're smiling, then it will be absolutely like making up a square besides you, and it will be showing that smiling. And if you're not at all smiling, so it's got not gonna show out anything. So it's a sort of a smile detection project. It will detect that either you are smiling or not. If you are smiling, so a rectangular box, sorry, a square box will be formed around you, and onto above of that it will be written as a smiling. But if you're not smiling, so nothing sort of things like that are gonna happen about. Okay, so hope I'm clear with that. First of all, that what is this project about? Now second, what are the things that you will be needing up for this project? So up first you're gonna need up the one of the IDE, and secondly, if you have taken or if you have put out any restrictions to your camera, any restriction on thought of that, so please make sure that you remove out that respective restrictions from your camera. Otherwise, if you do not allow the access, so in that case it's gonna show you some different sort of errors, and that won't work out. Okay, so great. I hope I have just told about a little more things regarding here, whatever is required. Second, one more thing is required, that is will be requiring up some XML files. I'll be letting you know from where to download and how to download those out. But if you're downloading that, please make sure that you are downloading that into the same folder where you have made up your Python file into which you are writing up your respective projects. Okay, great. So I did make up a file here, and that is smile underscore detect.py, my file. Okay, I'll be starting up here. So the very first thing that I'll be doing up here is that I'll be installing up the OpenCV library. Okay, so as I am using the PyCharm, so under the PyCharm, we did already have an option for the terminal that's attached up here. Now, if you're not using this, or if you're not having any terminal attached onto your IDE, so you could simply refer up the command prompt. So here what I'm going to write, I'm going to write up the command, and that's pip it's install, and my library is OpenCV, put up a dash, and here you go with the Python. This is how you have to do that out, and hit out enter. Okay. So in this case, it's gonna install up this OpenCV library for you with the help of this. For me, the requirement is already satisfied. Okay, so for me, it's showing that requirement already satisfied. But if you haven't installed that up till now onto your device, so make sure that you install it out very quickly. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I will copy out this command, and I would put this up here in the file as well. So if you want up the reference, yeah, you could do that out. So when the OpenCV library has been installed out for you, after that you could go ahead and start writing up your respective program. You could start writing up the importing of your libraries. So I'm going to write up here the very first one, and that is import, and here I'm going to write up CV2. Okay, so here I have imported up my CV2 library. That's from the OpenCV only. It's a part of that OpenCV library only. I just imported that out. Okay, now okay, I was just telling you about importing of the different things, right? I just mentioned to you about the XML, right? That you have to install some XML files for you, right? Now, into that respective case, what is it? When you are dealing up with the OpenCV libraries and sort of things like that, first of all, for detecting your face, you have to download an XML file, and that is the hair cascade frontal face default.xml. Okay, this is one of the files which you have to download it. Secondly, now here you are particularly working on the smile detection. So there is a cascade file for the smile as well. You have to download that out. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to put up the comment here, and I'm going to write up the file name which you have to download. Okay, it's cascade, CSC cascade underscore frontal face underscore default dot xml. Okay, first of all, this has to be downloaded. So what you do, just go onto your Google and simply write out this hair cascade frontal face default dot xml. When you do the search for that, you'll be getting up many options, such as you'll be getting up the some GitHub links, and you'll be having many sort of things like that. Okay, now from that you could just choose out any one and download that out for you. Now when you are downloading this XML file, first of all, make sure that it is in the format which is XML. Secondly, download that onto the respective folder where your file is saved, into which you are writing up this code. As I am having up this great learning folder, right? Into this only I am having up my file which is this smile underscore detect. Okay, I'm having this smile underscore detect in the folder which is great learning. And now here again I am having this hair cascade frontal face default.xml in the same folder. Okay, so please make sure that you do out this respective thing, otherwise further you are going to face up many sort of issues, many sort of errors, because you haven't been put out your respective file on the respective folder. Again I'm repeating, guys, why I'm repeating this again and again, because yes, this is the most important part of your respective project. Fine, make sure to download this XML file in the same folder where your file is saved, in which you are writing out this particular program. Okay, great. This is the first file which has to be downloaded. Second file is hair cascade. Hair cascade underscore. This one is smile.xml. Same for this as well. Make sure that you are downloading it in the XML format. And secondly, save that in the same folder where your file is saved, into which you are writing up that code. Okay, so great. Hope I'm clear with this. So let me show you how these files actually look like. I'll be opening up this, and yeah, it's some sort of this respective sort of things are there into these particular files. Okay, for these XML which I was talking about, this was the frontal face, and this one is for the XML. Okay, simply you could go onto the Google, write this out, and you'll be getting many GitHub links and many things like that. So you could download it from anywhere of your choice. Okay, there is no such compulsion from this GitHub or from that GitHub, but wherever you find it, relevant, you download that out. Great. Now I hope that you did have downloaded this XML files up till now. Now it's the time for giving up these XML files into our respective variables. So I'm going to make up the file that variable that is cascade underscore, and I'm going to just go do this for the face first of all. Okay. So cascade underscore face, and here I'm going to import up my same library. I use up my same library which I did import it above, cv2 dot, and here I'm having up the function that is cascade classifier. Cascade classifier. Now, what is this function about actually? Whatever the file you did have the XML file. So this cascade classifier is a respective function which helps you to read up those files and act accordingly. Okay, so into this I'm going to write up that particular file of mine. Okay, so it's har cascade underscore, it's frontal face underscore, it's 1 second, let me just get back right here. Yeah, it's default.xml right here. Okay, so yes, this is my file which I just wanted to download it, import it out here and use that out. So it's the har cascade underscore frontal face underscore default.xml, my very first file. Okay, second file again I'm having, I would use that out. So it's cascade underscore smile, and that's equal to again cv2 dot, here goes cascade, and again I'm going to use up this classifier function. Okay, now into the bracket I'm going to use up this respective har cascade file which I did import it. So har cs cascade underscore, here goes my smile.xml. Fine. So pretty much sorted. I just wrote up both of these respective things right here. First one is for my frontal face and second one is for my smile. What is the frontal face gonna check? This frontal face XML file is gonna catch up your front face, the front face as your your face is towards the front. So it's gonna catch up that respective face. And this cascade smile, what it is gonna do? It is gonna detect up the smile onto your respective face. Fine. So as I'm very much clear with these two things which I just did up right here. Fine. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to open up the camera, and with the help of my video capture function, I'm going to capture up my video. Okay. So for that I'll be having cap as a variable. So it's cv2 dot, and my function name which I'm going to use out is video capture. Now into the bracket I'm going to use up the number which is 0. Fine. So I'm going to capture up my video with the help of this respective function, and that's so into the variable which is cap. Okay, so great. Hope I'm clear with that now. Now I'm going to put up an infinite loop. So while true, I'm going to put up an infinite loop. This true, so it means that up till my condition is true, please running out. It means that it's not the case that once I smiled and it captured up that respective point and showed smiling, and further if I again smile, so it's not going to show out the next time. No, it's not that case. The number of times I'm going to smile, that number of times it's going to show that is smiling. It's going to capture out that respective time. It's going to capture that respective face with the help of the square, and it's going to show up that smile. Okay, this is how it's going to be. So for this I just put that at an infinite loop. Okay, the number of times I'm going to smile, the number of times it's going to show is smiling. And if I again come back to the real real face, if I do not smile, so in that case it's quickly going to remove out that smiling thing from that respective video. Right, so hope I'm clear with this. So that is the reason I just put up this while true to put up this as an infinite loop. The number of times I smile, it will be showing the number, it will be showing out the same thing that number of times. Okay. Now, great. So now next thing goes that I'm going to use of the read function. Okay, from my video capture function, the video which has been captured, now we are going to read out that respective video. Okay, it means that my face which has been captured, we are going to read out that respective face. Okay, so here goes ret comma img, and that so is equal to, here we have cap. Okay, my variable into which I did the video capture, and I'm going to use up the function that's read. Okay, pretty much sorted. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to convert this BGR to gray. Now, what's the use of this? Okay, I don't know that you did heard about this respective thing or not, but whenever we just try to do up some sort of things with the images, so whatever the BGR colors we are having, we convert that onto the grayscale. Okay, so after converting the things onto the grayscale, further we do out our respective things, whatever are required, whatever are supposed to be actually done out. Right. So this is the again the same reason that why I am gonna convert up my captured image into the into the gray color. Okay, into the gray scale. It's not that whatever the image you are gonna show up onto the camera, that's gonna show up in the gray color. No, it's not that case. Scales are different. Okay, like whatever the pixels we are having, those are onto the BGR colors, right? That we are gonna convert onto the gray scale, not your complete image. Okay, so I'm going to use up the variable that's g, and which is equal to cv2 dot my library first of all. And next what we are having, the function which is cvt colors, cvt and color. Okay, this is the one only which converts the color from BGR to gray. Now what I'm going to put, first of all, I'm going to put up the variable that's img, for which variable I want to convert. I want to convert it for the img. And now where I want to convert it from cv2 dot its color underscore its bgr, its bgr2, and here we have the gray. Okay, so this is what we are actually writing up here, that whatever my image is there, I want to convert that from BGR to gray scale. Okay, so for that only we just reduced up the CVT color. This CVT is for the convert color. Okay, CVT is the short form for convert, and that CVT means convert here, and the convert color, what to convert, the image has to be convert from BGR to gray, from BGR scale to the gray scale, it has to be converted. Okay, next, getting down here, now what I'm going to use is that I'm going to use up the phase cascade, this cascade underscore phase variable which we did made above, and whatever the scale, whatever multi scales I'm having up there, I'm going to use out that respective. Okay, so for that I'll be using let's say f. Okay, f is equal to, I'm going to use up here phase, yeah, it would be, one second, it will be cascade underscore phase. First of all, I'm working upon the phase, then I'll be moving on to the smile. This is how we'll be doing up the thing. Okay, so yes, cascade underscore phase dot, and now I am having up the function which is detect multi scale. Detect multi-scale. Okay, this is the function which I'm using up here, cascade underscore phase dot detect multi-scale. Now here with the help of this, it's going to detect up the multi-scale. Now I'll be using up that respective variable which I did use above. That's the G. Right, because onto that only I just did converted my BGI scale to the gray scale. Okay, so here we are having up the multi-scale, right? So this detect multi-scale is going to detect out this multi-scale conversions which has been done up. And in which variable we did? We did this into the variable which is G. So I just simply wrote that out right here. Getting down, we have a variable that's the scale factor. Not a variable, it's a function actually. One second, let me first of all get down. Great. We have a function which is scale factor. So you didn't actually need to put up the scale factor accordingly. So here the scale factor is 1.3. Okay. Now whatever the neighbors are there, I'm going to put up a function which is min neighbors, NEIGHBOURS. Okay, min neighbors. This is one of, okay, I guess the spelling is, yeah, that's fine enough. No, it's not fine enough. Neigh. Okay, bors. Yeah. So this min neighbors is one of the next variable, one next, you could say parameter which we have up here, and we need to put that out as well. The value for that will be 5. And now I'm going to put up the minimum size of the image which has to be captured about. So that respective one, I'm going to set it as 30 comma 30. Okay, so these are the things which I did set up right above, right here actually. Okay, yeah, my bracket will be closed up here. That's very okay. Now getting down, I will be using up my for loop. Now what do we have? We have the values for the x, we have the values for the y, right? X and y values are there. Next we have the width, and as well we have of the height, right? These are the 4 factors which you have up into a square, right? This is the 4 factors which whenever rectangle is formed, whenever a square is formed, these are the 4 factors which you are having. So now I'll be using up these all of 4, that is the x, y, width and the height, into the faces, that is into this respective thing, the variable which is if. I'll be using up the for loop for that, and I'll be now using up the function which is rectangle. As I told you that around your face, when the video will be captured, so when your face will be displayed, into that around all the 4 sides a rectangle will be like formed out, right? So now what we have to do, we have to give up the values for the formation of that respective rectangle. Okay, that I am doing. So let's do that out. I'm going to use up the for loop here. So here it goes like this, for. Okay, next what I have to do, I'll be writing up x, y, w and h. That is my value for the x, value for the y, my width and my height. All of these things are there, right? In, and now what I'm going to use up the variable which is f. Like what we did save in the f, we did save up this multi-scale, right? We just used up this detect multi-scale function, and inside that whatever the parameters were there, we just did up all and give up all of those respective parameters, right? So into all of those things were done into the variable which is f. So yes, I'm again doing out the same thing. So for x, comma y, comma w, comma h in f. Okay, get down here. Now use up my CV2 library and use up the function which is rectangle. Okay, rectangle, T-A-N-G-L-E. Okay, CV2 dot rectangle. Fine. Now what is the variable onto which we did have up the image, right? We now will be using up the image. So onto that case, I did make up the variable here, img, right, in which we are reading out our image. So I'll be using up the same right here. I'll be using up img. Okay. And now what I'll be doing is that first of all I'll be passing up x comma y. Both of these respective parameters which I did have taken up onto my for loop, the x values and the y values. Now what I'll be doing is that I'll be adding x with the width and y with the height, right? Because if we talk about the width, so that's the horizontal one, right? And onto the horizontal line we have the values for the x. If I talk about the height, so height is in the vertical format, and if I talk about the vertical, so y is as well into the vertical. So that is the reason horizontal and horizontal are added together, vertical and vertical are added together. That's the reason I'm going to add up x plus w and y plus h. I hope I'm clear with that, because x is going to lie up onto the horizontal line, right? And that horizontal line is as well depicting your width. Whenever if, visualize up a rectangle here. Okay, visualize up a rectangle. Now talking with that rectangle, if I first of all, if I have to take some x value, so x where lies, it lies onto the horizontal line, the straight line it lies upon, right? And if we talk about the width of that rectangle, so that's again that same horizontal line, right? So in that particular case, I'm gonna add x plus w. Now next, if I talk about the y and the h, so for y, what do we have? We have that y is one of the other axes, and that's the vertical one, the line which is straight, right? a vertical one. And what is the height? Height is as well the vertical one, because when we have to compare of the height, you go up like this, right? So that is again a vertical one. So into that respective case, x is added with the width and y is added with the height. So let's do out that respective thing very quickly. I'm going to write up x plus w, comma. Okay, let me get up some space here in between of these things. Right, x plus w, and now I'm going to write up y plus h. Okay, this was the reason. This is how we are going to do up these respective things. Now put up the comma. Next, what I'm going to do is that I am going to give up some values here. What are those values about actually? Now that will be my this values, which is BGR values. My BGR scale values, I am going to give that out right here. Okay. So I'm going to write up 255, comma 0, comma 0. Okay, so B is 255 and rest both of the values are my zeros. Okay, separated by a comma, and I'm going to use up here the Q. Fine. Let's get down, and now here I'm going to use up the values for the gray scale. Okay, now again that is completely same, nothing more change, only a slight change has to be made up for the converting of onto the gray scale, for putting the values onto the gray scale. Okay, so I am going to use up gray underscore r. Okay, and that's equal to, I'm going to use up the function here, that's the gray. Okay, one second, this is not the gray. The gray, instead of that, I'll be using a simple g. Okay, because we did made up the g above. Now what was stored onto that? Into this we were having the colors, right? We are converting BGR to gray. So now what I'm doing is that I'm converting that onto the, from BGR to the gray. I'm giving up the values for the gray. Okay, not like this. Here goes my list. Inside this, my y will refer to y plus height, comma, my x is gonna refer to x plus w. The same thing which we did above, only a little change has been made, that I have assigned up these values, these new values to the x and y. Nothing more than that. Okay, I simply assigned up the new values to this x and y. So that's the idea what I did just do here. Fine. That is completely done. My rectangle is done. Now next comes about my smile. Okay. So as we did this for the rectangle, the above one, one second, as we did this one, for the same manner, we are going to do that out for the smile as well. Okay. So I'm going to write up here, inside the for loop only, I'm going to write up else. Okay. So now here I'm going to use up the variable which is cascade underscore, one second. Cascade underscore smile, because for the face we already did above. Right here we already did for the face. Right now it's the turn for doing up it for the smile. So cascade underscore smile dot, here goes my function which is detect multi-scale. Multi, and here goes my scale, detect multi-scale. Right, again here I'm going to give up the same values, same sort of things. First of all, I'm going to give up this variable which is gray underscore r, into which I just set out the gray values for my respective image. Okay, that has been done. Next comes my scale factor, scale factor. Okay, so my scale factor is going to be equal to 1.5, just similar to the above one which we did put up. Okay, it's just similar to the above one, a slight change only. Okay, sorry, here we put up the comma. Getting down here, I have again the minimum neighbors. So min, NEIGHBORS. Okay, so that's gonna be equal to 15. Okay, and next we are having up the minimum size. Okay, so now I'm going to set up the minimum size, slight change, mean that is 25, 25. Previously we did 30, 30, right? So I just did put that out very quickly here. Okay, min, okay, S would be capital for the size. I'm so sorry, min size. Okay, did I put up the comma here? Okay, comma is required here as well. Okay, fine, great enough. This is done. Yeah, we just put up the things for the smile, for detecting up the smile as well. We had put up the different sort of things whatever are required. Now next thing that goes up here is that I now simply have to use up the for loop for my smile. So here goes that for I in S, because S is a variable into which I had used up my cascade smile to detect up the multi-scale. Right, so for detecting up my multi-scale, I simply used up all of these things, and that all are stored up in the variable which is S. Right, so for the same, I'm going to use up this onto the for loop only. So for I in S, now I'm going to compare out that if the length of the smile, okay, if length of the S is greater than 1, okay, I'm going to compare out that if the length of S is greater than equal to 1, so it's simply greater than 1. So what you have to do, you have to write cv2 dot put text. You have to write cv2 dot put text. Now, where to put up the text? You have to put up the text into the image, right? Where you are actually simply reading up your respective video, which has been captured. So that has been stored up into the variable which is image, right? So onto that only you have to write if the length of the smile is greater than 1. Into that you have to write up something. So you could simply write up smiling. Okay, this is the thing which you could simply put up there when you find up the length that is greater than 1, length of the s greater than 1, you could put that out. Okay, now here I'm going to put up the respective variables, that x and y values which we did give already. So I would simply write x comma y minus 30. So whatever the x and y values we are having up here, so for those respective I did simply put up this particular thing. So simply the x and the y values are to be done up here, and these are simply to be used up. Okay. After this, I'll be again putting up a comma, and now I'll be using up one more function. Let me get down and use it out here. So that function is cv2 dot. I'm going to use up this font. Okay, font. Now you have different types of fonts here. So you could use any font of your choice, whatever you are actually wanting to use. So font underscore. See, these are the types of fonts which you are having up here. For this, you could use up a Hershey Simplex or Script or plain or complex, whatever you like, triplex, whatever you feel like you could use. I'll be using up this one only. Okay. So font underscore Hershey underscore Simplex. Okay, this is my font which I wanted. This is the font style actually which I want to be printed up. This was my font which is gonna print, and this is the respective font type which into which it is gonna be printed up. Comma. Here is my 2 comma. I'm gonna put up the values. It will be 0 comma 255 comma 0. Okay. Fine. Okay, 1 second. Here will be the 0 comma. Okay, here goes my comma. Again, getting down. Here you have the third one. And for the third one, what do you have now? You have the cv2 dot. Okay, cv2 dot. It's line. We have line underscore a. This respective function, line underscore a. So whatever is written up there, we just simply line that out. Right, so this is what is actually mentioned up onto this line underscore AA1. Fine. Great. This is all sorted. I'll be getting out of my for loop, and after getting out of my for loop, I'll be now using up my cv2 function. So cv2 dot, here goes my im show. Okay. This is done. Now here we have the video. Okay. Here we have the video, comma, and this has to be done up into the image. Fine. This has to be done up into the image. So image again, I would be like telling you that into this only we read out our respective video which has been captured. Fine. So yes, that has been done. Image is completed. Right here coming down, I'll be using up a variable. That's key, and here I'm going to use that cv2 dot weight key. Okay. Into the bracket, and here I'm going to put up some value like 1 second. The key for the key would be capital 30, and here I'm going to put up an ampersand, and here I'm going to use up a code which is which is 0 1 second, yeah, 0x. This is the multiplication sign. Okay, Great. And now I'm going to apply out one of my conditions, that if k is equal to 27, if k is equal to 27. So now onto that case, what I have to do, you simply have to break up my loop from there. Okay, if this is the respective one which has been followed and which has been used, so simply break up my respective loop from that particular place. Okay, and here we have the capture. So capture dot release my function, and here goes again now cv2 dot destroy destroy all windows. So cv2 destroy all windows. So it means that as soon as all of these respective loop is done, this for loop has been done, this while condition has been finished up, simply now release up my camera. It means that release up my camera and destroy all the windows. What are the windows are open? It means in the sense that for the camera, a new window will be appearing for this, right? For this project we will be having up a small new window, and onto that only the smile will be detected. So now as soon as that respective window has been opened, all the things have been done. Now when you just want to close that out, you simply destroy out all windows. It means that whatever the different windows have been opened up for the demonstration of the output, destroy all of those. It means that simply close out all of those respective values or windows that have been opened out here for the demonstration of the respective project which we did do out. Right, so hope I am very much clear with this respective things what I did here. Let me quickly go above here once explain you a very quick way that what would we do, and after that we'll be proceeding above with the output for this. Okay, so here we have imported up the CV2 library. That is pretty much clear, I guess, because we are going to use up and give the access to our cameras and detecting up some sort of things. So those things will be done up with the help of the OpenCV library, right? So that is the reason we just simply imported up here CV2. Now we'll be using up two cascade files, two XML files. First one is to capture up your front face, and second is to capture up your smile. So these two actually will be used up here into this respective project. So I just used up and simply written up both of those here. Getting down, here we made up a cap variable, and that is going to capture up my video. Further, we read out our image, we converted the BGR to the gray, and we did detect up the multi-scale, right? Then we have defined up the x, y, w, and h, that is the xy values, width, and the height values. After that, further, we defined up a rectangle. That respective rectangle shall be of which respective shape. Okay, that respective rectangle shall be of which respective size, right? That all things will be defined. So as we did this respective thing, this multi-scale for the face first of all. Further, we are doing up this particular same thing for the respective smile. Okay, now here this is written 025 255, 0. This is because you what sort of writing, what sort of color you want to give for your rectangle. That is what is done up here. If you write 255, 0, 0, so in that case blue will come. In this case the green color will be coming. Okay, and if you write 255 at the place of this 0, so in that case red will be coming. So this is the sort of things difference which will be there. I'll be showing you that as well in a short while. Fine. Simply after that video was captured, and after that all of the things were done, your windows, all of the windows were destroyed simply. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to simply run out this project. I'll be running this out because I'm not sure that will this work about with this camera, because once my camera is already opened out, so I don't think so it's going to work about. So what I'm going to do is that I'll be closing out this respective camera from here. Okay, I'll be closing this out. Now I'll be simply running out my project, and let's see that how it's gonna be and how it's gonna detect up the respective output of our particular project. So first of all, how it will be doing is that it will be giving up the access to your camera, and yeah, here we are. See, as I'm smiling, it's simply showing that smiling, right? So simply as soon as I am smiling, it's simply showing you that yes, you are actually smiling. And see, onto the above side, it's written up smiling right here, right? And it's capturing up this respective square for you. Now, if I just close this out right here, 1 second, it has to be closed out from here. Okay, if I close that out now, And what do? I simply change up these respective values. Now instead of this, I put up 0. And instead of this, if I put up 255, okay? Moving down, what do? Right here it is done. And here as well, if I for the rectangular again, I change up the color. I put up 0 here and 255 here. Now just have a look at what's gonna happen up and how it's gonna respond up. So yeah, it would be taking some time. Right now, just have a look that right here above it's showing a smiling. Right? Okay. Great, right? So hope I am very much clear with this respective project to you, that how is this project actually gonna be and how is it gonna work about in the complete idea, right? So hope this thing is very much clear to you. We'll be now proceeding on to the next project of ours. Okay, so here we are using up the PyCharm IDE, and onto that only we are going to write up and proceed up with all of the projects for the image processing, right? So I'm going to proceed on with now the project which is the face detection. Okay, I'll be letting you know that with the help of the OpenCV library, how we can detect up the faces. This is what we are gonna like start up here, and this is what I'm going to proceed out with this. Okay, now before moving forward with any of the codes or any of the respective things, uh, you are preferred to use any of the offline IDEs in which you are comfortable of. You could use PyCharm, you could use VS, you could use Sublime, you could use Jupyter, anything of your choice. You could simply use that out. But online IDEs are not allowed to be used, right? You are not allowed to use of the online IDEs, because there is no such sort of things for giving up different types of files onto that and the things like that, because you will be using up some different files as well here that shall be installed onto your devices, that shall be there onto your devices, and with the help of those files we'll be writing up the project. So onto that particular case, it's preferable to use up any of the offline IDEs in which you are comfortable of. Okay, the very first thing. Second one is that what we'll be doing is that we'll be using up our OpenCV library. Now, onto that, what here is that we'll be using up some sort of things, and with that we'll be checking to detect up the face. Okay, as soon as any of the faces are visible out in the camera, it will show a rectangular line onto that respective face. Okay, and when there is no such face, so it's not going to detect out any particular thing. Okay, this is how we are going to proceed up onto our respective project for today. Okay, so hope I am clear with this particular thing to you, that how are we gonna proceed up. Okay, so I'm going to start up first of all with the importing of my libraries. Now before importing, here we have to go onto the terminal and install out our respective library, whatever you feel like that. Okay, so I'm going to write up here pip install, and further with that we have pip install, and further I have my library which is opencv-python. Okay, and hit out enter for that. So this is how you install up the OpenCV library onto your devices. Okay, now it's gonna take some further few minutes for the installation, but for me this respective library is already installed. So for me it's showing that requirement is already satisfied. But if you haven't installed out this library up till now, so for you it will take some time, and after some time it is gonna show the library has been successfully installed. Okay, so hope I am clear with this particular thing to you regarding the installation of the OpenCV library. I'll be writing up this command same onto the IDE as well. So if you haven't written up this command up till now, so you could just take that out and copy it, and like you could write that out here. So here, great. Fine. As soon as this has been imported, I'm gonna install. I'm gonna import up the CV. Okay, this is how you do up the respective things. Now, further, whenever you are classifying, or whenever you are doing some sort of things like working with the face detection projects, working with any other projects like this hand detection or whatever. So for that, actually what we are having some XML files, XML. Okay, we do have some XML files, and Those respective XML files are only to be used out when you are doing with the help of some detection or some things like that. Okay, so now on to that respective case, when you are doing up the phase detections, onto that you have to write it out here. My cascade file which I'll be writing is har cascade underscore frontal phase underscore default dot xml. This is how, and this is the cascade file which you are actually wanting out here. Har cascade frontal face default.xml. Now, go on to the Google, write out the same thing. You'll be getting many links there, some of GitHub links, some websites, many things you'll be getting it out. Download this XML file from any of the place, okay, of your choice, whatever you feel like is comfortable. Now, while the downloadation of this XML file, there are two things that have to be really taken care of. The very first one is that you have to first of all download that into the XML format only. Second, you have to download and save this cascade file into the same folder where your Python file is saved, into which you are writing up this particular code. Okay, so I would again repeat, first of all, download that into the XML format. Second is that you have to put that up onto the same folder. You have to save this cascade file onto the same folder in which your Python file is saved, into which you are writing up this respective code. Okay, so I hope I am clear with that to you, very clear to you. So CV2 has been imported. Getting down, I'm going to use up this cascade file which has been already downloaded by me. So here it is, this. This is how it actually looks out. Okay, this is how it looks. Great. Right here now I'm going to write up here. It's cascade cascade underscore face. Okay, is equal to, I'm going to use up here the CV2 dot, okay, I'm going to use up CV2 dot, it will be, my function will be cascade classifier, classifier, okay, cascade classifier. Now, one second. Yeah, so this is how it's going to be. Simply, first of all, you're going to use up the CV2 library, the one which you imported right above here. Further, you're going to use up the cascade classifier function. Okay, so whatever the cascade file, whatever the XML file you are having, it helps you to classify that out. So you have to put up your file name. So it's har cascade underscore, it's frontal. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. Frontal face underscore default. Okay, FAUL default default.xml. Okay, this is my respective file which I was talking about. So har cascade frontal face default to default.xml. Fine. You just simply put it up your file onto the particular variable which is cascade underscore face. Frontal face means that which will be helping you to detect up your front face. Okay. Great. Now next what I'll be doing now, how it is going to detect up the front face. So onto that you have to give up the access to your camera, right? First of all, you will be using up the camera to turn on your video, and after turning off your video, after that you will be simply able to catch up or detect up your face. So first of all, very compulsion thing is to give up the access to your camera. So let's do that out very quickly. I'm going to write up here cap. Okay, and that's equal to, I'm going to use up CV2 dot, and dot, my function is video capture. Okay, V would be capital for video, I'm sorry, video capture. Okay, and in bracket I'm going to put up here as 0. So video capture function will be helping you to capture up your video. It means to turn on your video. Now after your video has been turned on, now I want to read up your image, or whatever the variable, like I just wanted to read up the image for you. Further with that, I just wanted to make up a rectangle around your image, so that it will be helping you to detect that yes, here I am able to detect up the face, And if you are not able, if that respective program of mine is not able to detect up the face, so onto that case it's going to show that I'm not able to detect up the face, right? This is what it is actually gonna be. So this is how we are going to proceed up here with the particular things for you, right? So I'm going to write up here, my condition goes while, okay, while true. Now, why I am putting up this while true? Because I want to make this as an infinite loop. Now, what do I meant from the infinite loop that I want to make this out? So, see, listen to me. Once your video has been turned on, okay, and let's say your face has been captured once. Now, you do not want that suddenly your program shall shut down, right? You do not want that out. You will be giving us some different trials onto that, right, as well. Let's say first your face has been detected, next you put up the hand onto your face, then let's see it's going to detect out or not. Thirdly, let's say you are having some different form of action. So these are some different things like that you'll be trying, right? So this is the reason that why I am putting up this infinite loop here, because what I wanted is that simply as soon as my face is detected, it shall not close up my program. It will shall stay up there. Now, whatever the further actions I am gonna do, what are the further things I'm gonna give up there into the front of my video, so it shall detect up the other face as well. Or if I put up my hand, it shall not detect. I have different sort of things to be tested up here, right? So for doing up all of those respective things, what I am doing, I am setting that as true. So here goes my condition, that is my infinite loop. Okay. So here this red is for rectangle, and here this is for my image. Red comma image is equal to, and I'm going to use a cap dot read. What it is going to do, whatever my video has been captured, it is going to read out that respective captured video. Okay, as soon as my camera is turned, my video is turned on, it's going to read out that respective thing, that respective video for me, right? This is how it's going to be. Fine. Now, if it is able to read, if my camera is open and if it is able to read, we can simply use up and print up our respective variable here, that's print red. Okay, so it will actually print me true, either true or false, that it is able to read up my video or not. Okay, so in that case, it's simply gonna read up these things and print either true or false for me, right? Now, second goes next thing that goes up here is that you are having up the image, you be turning on your camera, right? That will be in the form of BGR, right? BGR colors. Now, we have to convert that to the gray scale, because with the help of that gray scale only, it is able to capture, it is able to check, and all those things it is able to do with the help of that gray scale only. So my next thing that I'll be doing is that I'll be converting that image to the gray scale. From BGR to gray, I'll be converting. So I'll be writing up the things for that. So G is equal to, I'll be writing up here CV2 dot, here goes my CV3 color. Okay, C would be capital for my color, CVT color. Okay, into the bracket I am putting up the variable which is img. That is actually referring to my image which I am reading. Comma, here I'm going to use up CV2 dot, here we have the color. Okay, underscore. Now it's BGR2 gray. GRAY. Now, this is the respective thing that is actually here. What I am doing, I am converting up my BGR image to the gray scale image, right? Why is that needed? I did already answer out this respective question a few seconds before. Okay, so this CVT is referring to the convert. So it is if I say that properly, so it will be convert color BGR to gray. It means convert the BGR color to the gray scale color. This is what it is actually doing up right here. Okay, getting down. Now what I'll be using up a multi-scale function, and with the help of that I'll be detecting up the cascade underscore phase is what we'll be doing. So I'll be writing up F is equal to. So I'll be writing up F is equal to, and here I have the phase. Yeah, it's cascade. It's cascade underscore phase. Okay. So F is equal to cascade underscore phase dot. Here we have the function that's detect. I am having up here multi, and this is my scale. So cascade underscore phase dot detect multi scale. Right into the bracket, I'm going to put up here the variable which is G, onto which I did convert up my BGR to grayscale. Right, so G, right, G, comma. Now here I'm going to put up some values. This one is 1.3 and the second is 5. Now what are these values? That I'll be letting you know in a very short while. Okay. Great enough, great. Now what I'll be doing is that I'll be applying up a for loop. What is that for loop actually about and what it is completely about? So onto that respective case, I will be putting up my for loop. Now we know that we have x, y, width and the height values there, right? So yes, we know that out that there we have the values which is x, y, width and the height, right? When we are forming a rectangle, so a rectangle consists of the x, y and the width and the height values, right? So now onto that respective case, I will be using up the x, y, w and h values to form up a rectangular for me. Okay, so how this could be done? Could be done with the help of a for loop. So here is goes for, into bracket I'm going to put up all those x, comma y, comma w, comma h. Okay, x, y, w and h. Okay, so for this in f, x, y, w, h in f, right? So f is a respective variable onto which I have detected that the multi-scale. I just put up some values here for this cascade underscore phase into which my XML file is stored for the detection of my frontal phase, right? This is what it is actually done up here. So x, y, width and the height in f. Fine, that's pretty much clear. Getting down, I will be forming up a rectangle. So CV2 dot, here goes the rectangle. CV2 dot rectangle. And into the bracket, I'm having up the image img variable which we did used above. I'll be setting up the ones which are x, comma, y. Okay. Now, further what we are having up x, y, w and h. Okay, x, y, width and the height. Now x and width both lie onto the same line, right? Like x is as well a horizontal line, and for calculating the width of a rectangle, w is as well that line lies onto the horizontal line, right? So I will be adding x plus w. Now y is my vertical line and the height is as well in my vertical format, right? Whatever the vertical line we are having, we calculate that and we say that it is the height. So y and h will be added up together. So horizontals together and the verticals together. So horizontals are x and w and verticals are y and h. Okay. So x plus w, comma, y plus h. Okay. With the help of x, I'm adding up the width, and with the help of y, I'm adding up the height. Now next, I'm going to give up some values here. Let's say I wrote up here 0, comma, 0, comma, 255. What are these values? You know BGR colors, right? BGR. First one is for the blue, second one is for the green, and the third one is for the red. So if you want the blue color, so at the place of blue, write 255. And rest both of them keep as 0. If you want the green, if you want the green color, so in the middle place, write the value which is 255 and the besides 2 keep them as 0. And if you want the red color, so at the place of red put up 255 and the rest 2 will be 0. So here my B is 0, my G is 0 and my R is 255. So it means the rectangle that will be formed up, that will be of the color which is red. This is what it is depicting. Okay. Now you could as well set up a width for your rectangle, that what shall be the width of the rectangle. So I want the width as a 4. That I did. And here as well it is 4. So yes, that is being the same only. The width will be of the rectangle as 4. Right, so hope I am clear with this particular thing to you. Getting back here and getting down, I'll be using up here CV2 dot, I'll be using up the function which is IMShow. Okay, so what to show? I have to show up my image. So into that I am having up, you could put up anything here in sort of IMG, let's say. Okay, IMG, comma, and here I'm having the variable which is IMG, which I did use up above. I'll be using up a variable, let's say that's K, and here we have CV2 dot, here I have the wait key function, and that's gonna wait up for some time, for 30 seconds, let's say. Here goes my ampersand, and here is a code at 0 into FF. Okay, 0x FF. Okay, pretty much clear. Getting down here, and here I'm going to apply up one of the conditions. Once again, let me get down. So my condition which I'm going to apply up is that if k is equal to 27. Okay, if k is equal to 27, so at that respective place, break out the respective loop. Here for the wait key, the k would be capital. Okay, great. Back here, now I'll be using up here cap dot release. So RELEASE, release. Okay, cap dot release, and here goes CV2 dot destroy. Okay, 1 second. TROY, destroy all windows. Okay, now destroy all windows. What is this function doing actually? So when you get up the output for these sort of programs now, so into that respective case, what do you get? You get up a different window, and your video starts onto that respective different window. Okay, now here goes the same thing, that whatever that different window you are actually having it out. So for that window, you once all of these things are closed, and once your program is completely run successfully, simply what it will do when you want to close a program, it is going to destroy up all of those respective windows. Okay, it will simply destroy up all of those respective different windows which are actually appearing up. So into that respective case, the destroy all windows function is being used up here at this respective place, right? So what I'm going to do is that I'll be giving you a quick recap of whatever we did studied, and then I'll be moving forward. Okay, so CV2 is my library which we did imported. Cascade underscore face was a variable into which I did use of this hair cascade frontal face default.xml. Right, then I captured up my video. It means I turned on my video. Okay, here at this particular place. Now here goes my conditions, that while true. Okay, here goes my conditions for setting up my infinite loop. I'm simply reading up my image, and once my image has been read, it is going to print me true or false, whatever is required. Fine. Then my image is in the BGR color. I'm converting that onto the grayscale. So with the help of this CVT color, that is convert color, I'm converting my BGR to the gray color. Now then I'm detecting up the multi-scale. Here are the values for that. After that, I wanted to form a rectangle like outside my face. So into that case, what I am doing, I'm simply using up this X, Y, W and H, right? These are my values, X, Y, width and the height. So for that I did. Here I am setting up that what color of the rectangle I want to form. So B, G, R. For R I see 255. So in that case, R, that is the red color, will be formed up, and width will be the 4. Then simply here we are setting up some conditions, and at last we are simply releasing up and destroying up all of those respective windows. Right? Great. So now I'll be switching off the camera from here, because both two cameras can't run at one single time. I'll be switching that off. Yes, great. Now I'll be running out my respective program. So it will take a little time for giving up the access to my camera. Then further it will be moving ahead. Now just have a look that, see, it is actually forming up this rectangle. It's actually able to detect that. Now if I put up the hand in front of the camera, so see, after that it wasn't able. Again, if I remove up my hand, so it's again detecting up this respective image, the face for me, right? So this is how it actually works. Now you see that the color for this is red. Right, now I would show you one thing. If I close out my program from here, And further, I'm gonna put up the color. I will change the color. From here, I put it up as 0, and here I put it as 255. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna change up the width as well. The width here it will be, let's say, 6, and for a year as well, I'm gonna put up the 6. Now have a look and see that what it is. Okay, I would 1 second. I'll be putting up as green because yeah, that is the color which will be clearly shown. Let's run that out and now let's check out that what's gonna completely happen up here. So it will take up some time to give the access to your camera. I would again repeat that out. Now have a look that the thickness of my respective rectangle has been increased. Further, the color of the rectangle has been changed. Now if again I put up some hand onto the front of this thing, now it's not detecting up anything, right? Now if I again remove that out, it's again detecting up my face here, right? Great. So hope I'm very much clear with this respective project to you for like how do we detect up the face with the help of the Python. Simply we used up the OpenCV library, and further with the OpenCV library only detected up my face tree has here. So all of the respective things are simply done out by that cascade XML files which we did wrote up and put that up here. See downside as well, true, for the complete time this true is actually coming it out here. Okay, let me just once again show that out right here. Yeah, so have looked that for all of the time the true is coming, it means yes, it is actually printing up and displaying up my face. It is actually able to capture up my face, right? So great. Hope I'm very much clear with this particular project. Now I'll be moving forward with the next project of ours for the image processing projects. So now let's move on to the next project of ours, right? So right before we learned about detecting up the face, detecting up the smile, and all those respective things, right? Now let's jump onto a little bit different thing, different more things which we can do with the image processing, and that's so with the OpenCV library. Okay, so let's move a little bit different and let's go on to some other line. Now I'll not be doing out any project for the face detection or some detection things of like that. What will be proceeding on is that I will be converting a simple image onto a grayscale image, or you say that onto a black and white image. Okay, maybe you did heard about that. Converting a simple image to the black and white image with the help of this OpenCV library. Okay, this is the next project that we'll be doing it up here. Now, as I was using the PyCharm IDEs, the same goes here as well. I will again be writing up this project onto my PyCharm IDE only. And in whatever the IDE you were writing, you are absolutely free to do that. So, okay. Now, what are the requirements for this particular project first of all? So, my requirements goes in such a way that what do I need? First of all, I simply need up a image, any sort of image of your choice. If you want up a image of any person, so you could put. You want some nature images. You want some heroines, whatever you just want that. You can take up an image for yourself. Okay, I did as well have up an image. Let me show that what image I am having. Okay, make sure that the image is in the JPG format. Okay. So yeah, this is my image which I did have taken, and for this only I'll be converting that. I am having one more image. So further I'll be letting you know that as well. I'll be showing you one more demo for converting of the images. Okay. Now one thing that you should keep in mind before moving forward further for the project is that the image which you shall have that respective image is stored in the same folder where your Python file is stored, into which you're writing up this code. This thing I used to repeat in all of almost all the projects which we did up till now. So yeah, because this is one of the important thing. This is one of the places where the students like make up the errors, and after that it's very difficult to rectify because you do not have any syntax or any runtime error like that, right? Because your error is that you do not have the correct file path for your file. So that's the thing which comes up here. So please make sure that the image which you are taking, you keep that image into the same folder where you are having up your Python file is stored. Okay, let's proceed on with the practical. Now, installation is, I guess, already done. So I'll be simply writing up the command here for the installation of the OpenCV library. If you haven't done up till now, so yeah, you could please do that out. It's pip install opencv-python. Okay, so this is the command which you'll be using for the installation of the opencv library for Python. Okay, great. So I'll be, after the installation is done out by you, I'll be starting up here with my project, and that's import cv2, my very first line. So what I am doing is that I'm simply importing up my opencv library. Okay, this is what I did have done up here. Now, next what I am having up a variable. I'll be making up a variable actually. For what? I'll be making that for reading up my image, which I want to convert up into the gray, what do you mean by like actually white scale, black and white scale. Okay, black and white image. So, into that respective case, I will be having up a variable, and that is image underscore convert, my variable name. Okay. So yes, that so will be equal to here. This particular will be equal to, I'll be writing up here cv2 dot imRead. Okay, now imRead is the function. Im stands for the image, and read, you all know, read is absolutely a simple thing. So this respective function imRead is going to read out your image, whatever you are actually having up. Okay, so hope I am clear with this particular thing to you, that what is this imRead function actually gonna do out, and why did I wrote up here. And now what I'll be doing is that, now there are two ways. Okay, I'll be telling you two ways. First is, you could simply take up the path of your image, like wherever that image is saved out, you could simply take up the path and paste that out here. Second goes that you could simply put up your image name, whatever is there, with the extension in which it is saved out. Okay. If you ask my opinion for like which method to choose, so I would refer you that please paste up the path here, because many times it doesn't show that respective image is present up into your file. Many times it does that out, or many times it shows you some different sort of errors. So into that case, I would recommend that make sure that you are simply using up that respective path of the image where the image is saved out. So now how to find out the path? So let's say this is the PyCharm ID. My image was flower.jpg, right? Click on that first of all, and then do the right click. As soon as you do that out, you got an option copy, which is a third option. Okay. From copy, go to the copy path. Okay, click on that. Now here you have that which path you want to copy. I want to copy the absolute path. So click on the absolute path, and that respective path has been copied out for you. Now simply do one thing, paste that out here. See, right? So this is how you do out the respective thing. And now one thing has to be done up here, that is wherever the single slash is present out, make sure that you put up the double slash everywhere, that at every place. Okay, so right here as well. Oh, wonderful. Fine. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put up a comma right here, and let's get down. Now the image has been saved, the image which you wanted to read, that respective path has been put in up here, right? Now I'll be using up a function, and let's see what it is going to do. I'll be writing up here cv2 dot, I'll be writing up here imRead. Okay, imRead underscore unchanged. Okay, now what does this function actually means? It means that whatever the image you are going to read out, read that image in the unchanged format. It means whatever the real image is there, whatever real format of the image is there, you simply have to read that out only. Okay, so hope you are clear with this thing, what I mentioned up here regarding this. Next is that I will be converting up that into my grayscale. See, some things are very much common for image processing projects, like importing of the OpenCV library, converting any of your image or any of your video onto the grayscale. So these are some things which are common. At last of your program, writing the destroy all windows function, using the wait key. So these are some of the things which are really very common when you are doing some image processing projects. Okay, so into that respective case, please make sure that when you are doing out these things, when you are using any image or using up any video, any sort of thing like that. So first of all, it's very much necessary to convert that from BGR to grayscale, right? Because it's difficult for the BGR colors to act upon all of these things, but it's for the grayscale, it's not that much thing, right? So that is why we convert the all of those BGR colors into the grayscale. Further, whatever your requirement is, further whatever you want to put or proceed on, you could please do that out. Okay, great. So hope I am clear with this thing to you. Very clear actually, that what's the use of that. Now I'll be converting that onto grayscale. So it is im, okay, it's im underscore gray. Okay, my variable name. I'll be using here cv2 dot, and here will be cvt color. So cvt stands for convert. So here what you are doing, you're actually converting the color, right? Yeah, yes, you are doing it the same. You are converting the color from BGR to the grayscale. Okay, right here. Now I'm going to put up here the variable onto which I read out my image. So that is image underscore convert. So yes, image underscore convert was the variable into which I simply read out my image, right? I simply read out my image. So that was a variable I did put up here, so that it gets to know that in which image you have to convert the color. Now it got the idea that in which image the color has to be converted, but which color has to be converted. So here the color, that is cv2 dot color underscore bgr to gray. Okay, this one has to be converted. Okay, so this r will be capital. Fine enough. So again, I'll be letting you know the meaning of this respective line. See, because it the things goes that now here I'll be letting you know that how you can convert this into the black and white image. Now further, there are different types of filters that could be put upon. So now if you're very much clear that okay, how are these things working and what are the functions, what is the use of which function, right? So into that case, further it will be very much easier for you to make up the things onto your own only, right? Because you have the knowledge of the functions, you have the idea that how to write the code. Then what's the problem? You simply put on the code and you make up some cool projects onto your own, right? So that is the reason I request you to please have up a look of whatever I am telling you right here, very much clearly. Okay, so yeah, that's fair enough. We did took up a variable that is im underscore gray. Okay, with the help of OpenCV library, I did CVT color. That is, I did convert out the color. Now the color convert, the convert of the color has to be taken up in which image? So the image which is in image underscore convert variable. Onto this respective one, I want to convert the color. Fine enough, that's pretty much sorted. Now, what color you want to convert? So I want to convert that from BGR to grayscale. Okay, so hope I am clear with this to you, very clear to you actually, that what we did we actually do here. Fine enough. Now here what I'll be using up a variable that is let's say thresh, a thresh, okay, comma, and I'll be using im underscore black. Okay, is equal to my two variables, and both will be pointing to some same thing. cv2 dot, here I'll be using up the wave function which is thresh, threshold. Okay, now into the bracket I'll be putting up the image of I'll be putting up the variable into which I did convert out the image to the grayscale, im underscore gray. Okay, comma. Now what are my pointers, what are my values for what I want to do? I want to do it for 170 comma 255. Okay, comma, and here I'll be using cv2 dot, one second, cv2 dot I'll be using up here thresh underscore binary. Okay, thresh okay, thresh underscore binary. So cv2 dot thresh underscore binary. Fine, fair enough. So this thresh was a variable which we did have. Im underscore black was as well a variable which we did have. And with the help of the cv2 dot threshold, here we simply are using of this function that is threshold, and we are converting that into the binary format. Now, whatever the image you are dealing with, and if you are really converting that into some sort of filter, into some sort of black and white image, so in that, it has to deal with the binary. Okay, great enough. Now I'll be using up here cv2 dot imshow. Imshow is the respective function that I will be using it up here, cv2.imshow, and into that I'll be writing up the image of the, name of the image which I did have, flower.jpg. Okay, comma, and here I'm going to put up that respective variable im underscore black. So it is going to show this respective into this respective format, right? Now I'm going to write up here cv2 dot imwrite. Into the bracket, I'm gonna write, I'm gonna like save this file into a form which is im underscore grayscale dot somewhat png. Okay, I need to put that up inside these single noted quotations like this as well. Okay, pretty much done, comma, and I'm gonna put up here im underscore gray. One comma has to be removed it out, fine. So for the grayscale, okay, and next once again I'm going to save that imwrite. So it's cv2 dot imwrite. Okay, and I'm going to write that again im underscore black dot png. Okay, separated by a comma, I'm going to write up here im underscore black variable. Fine. That's pretty much done here. The show is done, the write function is done, and all those respective things. Further coming down, I'll be using up cv2 dot wait key. wait wait key, right? And into the bracket, I'm going to put up here as 0. Okay, key for the key would be capital. Okay, so it's cv2 dot wait key, and the 0 is the capital. The key would be the capital for the wait key. Getting down, I'll be writing up here cv2 dot destroy destroy all windows. Okay, and put up the bracket like this. So this destroy all windows function, what it is actually gonna do, it's simply gonna destroy up all of the windows which are actually there. Now what does this destroy all windows actually mean out? So into this case, what is meant, let's say when you're writing up the projects with the OpenCV library, when you're working on images, or when you're working with the video of yours, or in any other video. So in that case, what happens, that whatever the image, whatever the output you get out, you get that onto a new window. A new window gets formed out, and onto that new window, you get up your respective or the required output, whatever is actually expected. Okay, so into that new window, these respective things appear. Now when you want to close that out, so simply you could close that, and there you could just close that, and this destroy all function helps you to close out all of the respective windows which have been opened as a form of an output shown to you. Okay, so I guess I'm just making up with this a little bit of sense to you regarding the destroy all window. Okay, so what we did up here into this respective project, first of all, I imported up the cv2 library. Yes, and that's actually your OpenCV library. Next, I did use of a variable which is image underscore convert. Now onto that respective variable, I read out my image and with the help of the path. Now there were two ways I told you. Either you read that out with the path, or simply you could write up the name of the image here. But it's better that you put up the path, because sometimes while putting up the name of your image, it shows you some sort of errors. So it's better that you put up the path of your image. Right, now this was the image which we were having out, right? This flower.jpg. Now this is a sort of a very colorful image. Now whatever the colors here we are having BGR, we are converting that BGR to the gray scale. Okay, and then further simply We are saving out and we are running out the respective things. Fine, now I'll be running out this project and let's see that how do we get out the final respective outputs. So yes, here have a look that my image which I was having, how is this coming? It's coming some sort of flower type, right? So yeah, I was having up this flower image only. This was 1 second. And anyway, see, this was my respective flower image, right? That we were getting. And what output I am getting it up here. So see, have a look that this is my output which we are getting. So it has whatever the like background was there, it has converted all of those onto the black. Now simply this portion and this some sort of portion has been not be converted because it is a very light color of portion. Okay, if I close out this one and I have this convert image, here I have one more image which we can use. I could use up the name for that. It is detect. Okay, detect, and the same goes for here as well. I'll be writing up the same detect. Okay, and now if we run that out, okay, first of all let me open out that respective image for you. So yeah, this is my respective image which I am having it up here. Okay, now what I'll be doing is that I'll be running out my program. So if I run that out, great. So this was my detect my image which I was having, and now if I convert that onto the black and white to see what is happening. Right, so whatever was written that is completely in that manner only, and whatever else was here that has been converted into the black and white image. Right, so this is how you write up these sort of programs, and this is how this respective program gonna works, and this is how we convert up these particular things. Right, this is how we convert up our image to a grayscale. Right, so hope I am very much clear with this particular thing to you regarding the writing of this program, how it is going to work out and all those respective things. Okay, so now let's make out some other project regarding the image processing. Okay, up till now what we were doing, we were simply using up the OpenCV library and writing out some cool stuffs for the projects, right? But now what we are going to do is that with the help of that OpenCV library only, we are going to combine out that with the tkint. Okay, and now we are going to make out a project with a combination of the OpenCV library and with that the use of the tkint library as well. Okay, so this is what we are going to do, and this will be a form of project into which I'll be letting you know that how you can convert one single type of image into 6 different types of images. It means that simply let's say you are having a very simple image. Now how to make that image black and white, how to like blur out that image, and all those things will be covered up right here into this particular project only. Okay, so this is the sort of project that we will be seeing ahead. Now before moving further with any of the things, let me quickly give you an idea regarding the tkint library. So that's a sort of a GUI library. GUI stands for the graphical user interface. So that is sort of GUI library which we use up in Python programming language for making up some GUI programs or for some GUI games and all those respective things. Okay, so today I'll be combining up the OpenCV and the tkint library and making up some cool stuff. Okay, so what I'll be doing is now I would simply import up my relevant libraries, whatever are required up here. Okay, now I am onto my PyCharm IDE, so onto this PyCharm IDE only. Okay, up till now, if you haven't installed the OpenCV library for you, so yeah, please go ahead and install out the OpenCV library. Okay, command I would let you know. I'm going to write that command here onto the comment only, so you could just like use that out. So it's pip install OpenCV-Python. Okay. So this is the respective this is a respective command which has to be used out for the installation of the OpenCV library. Okay. Now further with this OpenCV library, this is completely done. tkinter is one of an inbuilt library, so it doesn't needs to be installed out. Okay, you do not need to install out the tkinter. It automatically comes installed with the Python. Okay. Further, we'll be using some 2-3 more libraries. The one will be the Easy GUI, second will be the Matplotlib, and third will be the OS, that is my operating system. So in total, we'll be using up 5 libraries for making up this respective project. Okay, so let's move ahead and start writing out our code for making up this particular project. Okay, so for the very first, I'm going to import up my CV2 library. Okay, now if you are not using the PyCharm IDE, so that's not any issue. You could simply use any of the IDEs, but that should be some offline IDE, not the online ones. Okay, fair enough. Now, further with this OpenCV2, I did import up the CV2 library. Okay, next I'm going to import up you the EasyGUI. Okay, my second library. Now, if that is again not installed and if it is asking for installation, so simply the command goes pip install EasyGUI. Okay. Further here I'm having import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. So this is my another library, and that's so here we are having up the matplotlib. Okay, so matplotlib is a sort of library which helps you to you use that in the data analysis, and even it helps you to make up some graphs, some bar charts, some pie charts, some sort of things like that. Okay, so the matplotlib is a library which allows you to do so. So now why I am simply importing up this library, because whatever will be my output in the form that whatever my images will be coming as an output for me, if I want to have up an option for saving them or doing up some sort of things, so into that case I have to use up the matplotlib. Okay, so the reason is this for using up the matplotlib library. Further, I'm going to use up your import OS, that's my import operating system. Okay, and next I'm going to write up here that import tkinter as tk. So I am importing up the tkinter library and giving that as a short form of tk. Further I have here that from tkinter, okay, let me just get out some space here. Yeah. So from tkinter I'm going to import up the asterisk. Now, let me once give you a very clear idea regarding this particular thing. What are libraries and why did I use of these respective libraries? Because it's very important to know about these particular things. First of all, I imported up my CV2 library, and that is completely belonging to my OpenCV. Okay. Further, I used up the EasyGUI. So that EasyGUI is a library. Into that you'll be using for making up some GUI stuffs and all those things only. Okay. Nothing more than that. Further, we have the matplotlib library, import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. Okay, now matplotlib library, I did mention that it is used up in the data analysis and all those sort of things. So right here we are using that. Tkinter, I told you that for the GUI we are using tkinter, and the line which I wrote up very last, that is from tkinter import asterisk. What does this line actually meant out? So from tkinter import asterisk, it means that from the tkinter library, whatever the functions we are having, we have to import all of the functions. It means that at any time, at any point of view, we can simply use out any respective function. Right, so into that respective case, I am simply importing up all of my functions which I have up into the tkinter library. Okay, so hope I'm clear up till this particular place that what we are actually doing up here. Moving further, I'm going to take up a variable that's root. Okay, and one second. And I'm going to make it the tkinter window. So tk dot, and this is my tk. Okay, now root is my variable onto which I am storing up my tkinter window which I'm making. Okay, so this small tk is referring to my tkinter library, and this capital T and small k is referring to my tkinter window, which we actually make out. Okay, which actually will be making. Now, whatever the output you will be able to see, a new tkinter window will be opened out for you, and onto that respective tkinter window only, you'll be able to see up all of the respective outputs that are gonna come up here as in a form of whatever the flower images or in the form of whatever like image will be taking up. Okay, so into that case I simply declared up the variable and assigned it to the tkinter window. Moving further, I'm going to write up root.geometry. geometry right here, and I'm going to set up some sort of geometry. So what you could do is that you could set up any sort. Let's say I'm going to do is 700 cross 700. Okay, now you could just take out any geometry of your choice, whatever you prefer. It means preference means that if you want your tick window to be in a larger size, so yeah, surely choose up the larger geometry. And if you want that into be small size, so yeah, you can surely choose up some small size geometry forest. Now one thing to please mention up here that in between the thing which I put up here is the X. Okay, it is a small X. It's not that multiplication sign, that asterisk sign which you put up. Okay, it's not that. It's the alphabet. It's the alphabet which is a small X. Okay, so please make sure that you put out the same only. Getting down, I have to put up the title, root dot title. Okay, and into the bracket, I'm going to write up here, choose to convert. It means I'll be getting an option that which image I want to convert up into different sort of images. I'll be getting up that respective option. So with the help of that, I could simply like use up here and there's this respective sentence which is choose to convert. Okay, so into that particular case, you could just simply use this out. So you will be having a pan like dialog box open up for you written this particular thing. Okay, getting down, I'm gonna use up root dot configure. Okay, now into the configuration, what comes? We have the background color, GROUNT background. Yes, so I have the color. That's the background, and you could just set up any background color of your choice. I'm going to set up here as light green. Okay, getting down right here. Further, I did set up my like color for this, for my background color. I did set that according to my choice. Okay, now further I'm going to use up the label is equal to. I'm going to use up here the label. Into the bracket, I'm going to set up my respective variable into which I had making up my tick in the window. Okay, so label is equal to label root comma. Here we have the background. Okay, so that background is equal to background is equal to black. Let's say. Okay, fine. Comma. Then we have an option for putting up the font as well. So I could put up the font, and what's my font? That is okay. I have an option like this. My writing would be the Arial. The size would be 30, and that will be in the bold. Okay, these are my configurations for my font which I actually wanted to give it up here. Okay, fair enough. Further, this is completely done. Now what do we have next? Next we have the different types of functions which are to be made out, and into those respective functions only we will be changing up the images, we'll be saving up different types of images, and all those respective things will be performed into those particular functions only. Okay, so def, and we have the function which is u, let's say. Okay, get down here, and here I'm going to set up the image path. Okay, now this image path is a variable which I am setting it up here, and further I'll be as I told you, I'll be having a dialog box open up in front of me, and from that only I simply have to choose up a image for which image I want to convert up the particular one image into different kinds of images that I'll be choosing it up through, right? So my image path is equal to, now here comes the use of my easy GUI library which I imported above. Okay, so that's easy GUI dot, and here I'm going to write up file open box. And yes, this is the function file open box that I was talking about. It will be opening up the file box for you. File box means the file explorer for you. Okay, further I could simply use up here card to, okay, we have to use up a function here, but I didn't have made out. Let's made up a function here, div c. Okay, And 1 second, I'll be putting up like this and simply write it past you. Fine. So here now I could just use up that function, that is say, which I did made right above, sorry, right below. And see, here goes with my image path. Okay. So yes, 1 second, it's done. See image path, and here you have div C. Okay, and simply I'll be removing this up from here. Okay. Now this is completely done. Further, I'll be doing, like having up my original image and converting that image in some sort of changes. Okay. Original image, my variable name. Okay, my variable name is the original image. And further with this respective variable, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use up the CV2 library, and with the help of that I'm going to use up the imRead function, and this respective function is going to read out my image path. Okay. 1 second, here in the bracket as well I have to pass the image path. Fine. Great. So I did have a variable which is original image, and into that respective variable, what is actually going done here? We are having a CV2 library, that's my open CV, and further I have the imRead function that helps us read up our image. So cv2.imRead, and into the bracket we are having up the image path. Okay, in the further bracket we are having up the image path. And what is there in the image path? In the image path, file box will open up for you, and from that respective file box you have to choose that what you want to, like which image you want to convert into different types of images. Okay, further again I am having the same, so it's original image. Okay, original, okay, image, fine, original image is equal to, so for this I'm going to set up again, I'm going to cv2 dot, now I'm going to convert up the color of the image. So cvt color, into the bracket I'm going to write up the variable in which my image reading has been done. So that we simply did up in the original original 1 second, original image, right? Yes, original image. Fine. So I did simply have origi. So I did simply have the cv2.cvt color. The cvt color is simply used for converting of the color. Now which variable you want to convert? That is original image, in which my file image is actually getting readed. Further, which color you want to convert? I want to convert it to BGR to RGB. Okay, I want to convert it to BGR to RGB. Now, one thing I just messed up here, that is I need to write up the color as well, color underscore. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much sorted once again. Simply, we did have to take up the make up a function. We have to declare up a variable. That respective variable will help us to read out our image. Further, we are having up cv2.cvt color, that is cv2 is my library, which is my open cv, and cvt color is my convert color one. Then further we are having up into the bracket of the convert color function, you did have to put up your original image, that what's the variable for which you want to convert up the color. So that's the original image. Okay, further that which color you want to convert, so it's color underscore bgr to RGB. Okay, this is what I did do up here. Fine. Okay, now I'll be applying up some conditions here, that if original image is equal to none, if original image is none. Okay, if this is the case, so into that you could simply write up a print statement that uh, cannot find out any Cannot find out any image. Choose the app. Okay, 1 second. Let's try that out only. That cannot find out any image. Fine, this will be very much like pretty much enough. So if original image is none, that it means that if at that particular place you do not find out any respective image, so in that case you could print out that cannot find out any image. Okay. Further, I am having sys dot exit. This is, it means that from at that particular point only you have to take up the exit, means out of the complete program. Okay. And if this is not the case, into that respective one, we are having different sort of variables which are to be made up and which are like to be used up here. Okay, so R1 is my very first one. It's CV2 dot resize. I am resizing my original image. Okay, so original image. So what is the resize size that I did actually wanted to put up here? So let's start as 930 comma 510. Okay, 930 comma 510. Fine, fine enough. Okay, further now this one is done. Now this is the original image that will be appearing. Now other than the original image, we have 5 more types of images that are to be shown up and that are actually to be checked upon. Okay, so now into that case, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take up the variables and declare up the different types of things, and with the help of that I'm going to further move up with the resizing and all those things and simply making up different. What we'll be doing is that we'll be making up the grayscale images, we'll be making up the smooth grayscales, and we'll be having up the cartoon image, we'll be having up the color image. So this is all what we will be doing it up here. Right, let's move forward and write up the let's start out our code with the grayscale. So now further I'll be writing up the grayscale first of all. So I'll be writing up here grayscale as a variable for me. Further I'll be writing up here cv2 dot cvt color. I'll be converting up the color first of all. Okay. So cv2 dot cvt color. Into the bracket, I have my original image. Okay, 1 second. Original image. Right here. Okay. Further, I have my first of all original image, and further I have that onto which color I want to convert it. Okay. So putting up a comma here, CV2 dot, and here goes my color underscore, and at this time I have the grayscale. So it will be BGR2, and this time it will be my gray color. Okay, because right now I am doing up this particular thing for my this respective grayscale image. So onto that case, it's necessary for me to keep up the gray color. So from BGR, I'll be converting this to the color, and that's the gray. And how will I be publishing or like representing that out? So R underscore 2 is my variable. Here it goes CV2 dot, here we have up the resize. Okay, and into the bracket we have you the gray scale. Okay, here we have the gray scale separated by a comma. Here we have the okay, here we have to put up the dimension. So it's 930 comma 510. Dimensions I'll be keeping up somewhat of same for everyone. For each and everything I'll be keeping up dimensions somewhat of same. There'll be a slight difference that we'll be getting to know further into the video only. Okay. Great. So R underscore 2 is completely done up here. For the next one, I'm gonna write up here is smooth gray scale. So for the third one, I'm gonna make up the smooth gray scale. Okay. So again, how to do that out? So you have CV2 dot, and at this time I have a different function, that's the median blur. Okay, my different function. And yes, that's the median blur. Into the bracket I have grayscale image. Okay, not like that. It is my original image. So it's original image. Okay, original image. Fine. So yeah, for the median blur, which image I'm having? I am having it my original image. Comma, this time it will be CV2 dot. It will be color underscore. Okay, not like this. In this, we will be having up the smooth gray. Here I'll be putting up one new thing. Okay, gray scale. Okay, I'll be writing up here gray scale. S would be capital. And this will be my image. Okay, grayscale image. And here as well, I could put up the same thing because it doesn't matter because I have to take up the name as a C for them. Okay. So into that case, I could write up like this grayscale image. The variable name will remain same for all of those. Okay. So CV2 dot median blur grayscale image, comma, here we have it as 5. Okay, getting down, I'll be writing up here R underscore 3, and that will be equal to CV2 dot, it will be resized. Into the bracket, we have a smooth gray scale. Okay, SCALE, smooth gray scale. Okay, it will be the one separated by. Here I'll be putting up some sort of things and some sort of values. So that will be same as I did above. It will be 930, comma 510. Okay, 510. Okay. Okay, great. Pretty much sorted. This is this smooth grayscale is as well done. Grayscale first of all, grayscale image first time. Further, grayscale image is actually done. So here it will be GREY. Okay. Next, getting down, this time I'll be having up the edges. Okay, so it will be get EDGE, my variable name. Okay, so for this I'm going to write up CV2 dot adaptive. Okay, CV2 dot adaptive threshold. It means that I am going to get out and give out some values here into this, and according to all of those respective things, my image will be transformed. Okay. So CV2 dot adaptive threshold. Here we have a smooth gray scale. Okay, here I have a smooth gray scale. Separated by a comma, here we have the 255 as my value. Next here we are having up, and I'll be writing that downside. Okay, I'll be writing up that CV2 dot adaptive CV2 dot adaptive underscore fresh underscore mean underscore c. This respective variable, this respective parameter will be used up here. Okay, so it is CV2 dot adaptive thresh mean c. Next we are having CV2 dot thresh underscore binary comma. I'm gonna give up some values here like this. Okay. So this one is basically for getting up the edges into the respective image. Okay. So great. Hope I am clear with this thing to you. And further with this only, I'll be writing up R underscore 4. That will be equal to CV2 dot resize, and into the bracket I'm having get edge variable, comma, and I'm going to put up here 930, comma 510. Okay, so yes, that's done. CV2 dot resize get edge 930, comma 510. That's completely done up here. For the R4 as well, we did make up the things. Now it's the time for my R5 and my R6 because I'll be having 6 with me. Okay. Where that 5. Okay. Now here R underscore 5, but before that I have to put up the color image. Okay, and I will be capital for my image like this. Okay, that will be equal to, it will be equal to C with 2 dot. Now we have the function which is bilateral filter. Okay, bilateral. Okay, F will be capital for filter. So it is CV2 dot bilateral filter. Into the bracket, here we have the original image, my variable original image, comma, and we could give up some RGB values, BGR values to here. So it's 9, somewhat. You could just give up some values according to your choice. Okay, great. Getting down this time, I'll be making up my R5. So that, okay, R underscore 5. Okay, so that R5 is equal to CV2 dot, it will be resized. Into the bracket, I have my color image. Okay, comma. My values are again gonna be same. It will be 930, comma 510. Right? Pretty much sorted for the R5 as well. Further, I'll be doing it and proceeding on for the R6. So this time for the R6, I'm gonna make up some cartoon image. Okay, so I'm gonna put up here cartoon and the image. It's CV2. But now, which function you want to you actually use for making up a cartoon image? So that's bitwise underscore and. Okay. In the bracket, I am having up here the color image, comma. I am again gonna put up here the color image, comma. And here I have a parameter which is mask, and for that I'm going to put up here get edge. My that will be actually my function, sorry, my variable name, which we did already made it previously, right? I hope you remember that out. Let me get back here. Fine. So for the cartoon image it is done, and for that I have to now put up r underscore 6. That's going to be equal to CV2 dot, it will again be my resize, si resize. Into the bracket, I again have up my color image, comma, and I have this 930, 510. The values which I used to put up at each and every place for having up these respective things. Right, that's completely done. Now what is the part that is left out here is that we have the variable which is images, and into that we'll be storing up many types of things. As whatever the variables we did made it up here, we'll be storing all of those respective variables inside the images variable, and further we will be now making out our different buttons and different labels and all those respective things, right? So now let's make out those respective things. So now further I'll be declaring up the variable, and with the help of that particular variable only I'll be proceeding on. So let's say my variable which I'm having up is images. Okay, so I'll be storing rest all of the variables into a list. So it's R1, it's R2, it's R3, comma, it's actually R4. We were having around 6, right? R4, 1 second. Then we have R5, and at last we have R6. Okay, so these are the respective variables which we are actually having it up here. Okay, now further I will be doing up some other sort of things, and let's see that what we have here. Now I'll be making up a figure as okay. Whenever you want that, whatever the plots you have made out, you want all of those respective plots into one single respective like a window, or as an output. So onto that respective case, you have to use up the matplotlib library. Okay, so you use one of the functions from the matplotlib, which is subplots. Okay, that was the reason I did import that out. So if comma, my variable will be excess. Okay, that is equal to plt dot subplots. Okay, plt dot subplots. We have 3 comma 2 comma, we have the fig size, and then that's equal to into the bracket, 1 second, into the bracket we have 8 comma 8. Okay, comma, we have here the subplot. Okay, we have the subplot underscore kw as a variable equal to, I'll be coming down here. Okay, now I will be putting it up here some other things. So now inside these curly brackets I'll be writing up xticks xticks. Okay, 1 second, let me get back above first of all. Yeah, and further now I could do like this. I don't know, Is it gonna like do up other things or not? Let's see. So x takes colon, and I'm gonna put up the brackets like this. Empty list I'm gonna put up in front of this. Okay. Same I'm gonna do it for the y ticks. And for that again as well, I'm gonna put up the empty list. But just 1 second, I am declaring up the dictionary and the values for that. Okay. Okay, fine. So x ticks and y ticks are pretty much done here. Further, this is completed. After this, I'm gonna put up a comma and I'm gonna write up grade spec underscore kw parameter, and that so will be equal to, here I'll be making up a dictionary. Okay, it's not, let's like the dict. Okay, get space. Okay, is equal to dict, and that's my dictionary. Into the bracket, I'm going to put up some other things here as well. 1 second. Okay, now right here I'll be writing up a parameter which is h space. So whatever the space you want, you could just put that according to your choice. I want the space to be 0.1, so yes, I'm doing so. Further, you have the height space and the width space. H space is the height space and W space is the width space. So what is the space for the width which you wanted out here? So that could as well be done up at this particular place. So width space, okay. So that will be equal to 0.1, and yes, the brackets are already put it up here. These are already at this respective place. Great, so this is done. Let's get down here and further I'll be using up a for loop. So further I am having for I comma ax in enumerate. I'm going to use up the enumerate function here. Let me get down. For I comma ax in enumerate, I'm going to use up the x's variable which I had made above, and instead of that x's dot, and I'm going to use up here the flat function x's dot flat. Okay, let me get down here, and now I am having here ax dot im show. Okay, it will help me to show up the respective image. So into that we have the images, and in bracket we have the I comma. What is my C map? So my color map, actually C map is from a color map, and that I could put it up as gray simply. Okay, done. Now next I have to save up the images if I want. So I have a variable as save one. Now I'm going to declare up a button, and that's always going to help me out to save up the respective things, right? So root comma, here we are having up the text. Okay, text, root comma text is equal to, and that will be saved save cartoon image. Okay, comma, what is the command that has to be followed up here? So command which has to be followed up here is my lambda. Okay, putting up the colon, getting down, lambda save. Okay, r underscore 6 comma, and here we have the image path. Okay, so yes, that's the thing which has to be done up here. I just wanted to check out one simple thing here. See, okay, done. Let's get down here, and I am now gonna write up save one dot configure. Okay, it means that I'm gonna give some background and the foreground colors to my button, which is gonna appear as an output. Okay, so for that the background background will be I want the background to be red. Okay, next comes my foreground, that is my font color, ground. Okay, it will be my font color that I want appear to be yellow. Okay, while meantime I just saw one thing, this has to be in the caps r underscore 6. Yeah, so yellow comma, I could set up some font of my choice. The font is equal to, let's get down here, and my font is equal to, I could put that in a sort of way I could put up the font which is my Arial. Okay, my size could be 20. And yes, that it can be in the bold as well. Fine. So let me get up here and let me get back. Okay, here I forgot to do a one table thing. I forgot to add a PADX and PADY value. So PADX is my 30 and my PADY value is my 5. Okay, great. Let's get down here. This is pretty much sorted. And now I have save one dot pack. It means that where to place this up. So side will be the top side. Okay, side will be the top side. And PADY value will be the 50. Okay. And here I can simply use PLT dot show and the bracket like this. Great, pretty much great, fine. And now further my only one function is left out, that is my save function. So it's def and the save. Okay. So into this I'm going to pass up two parameters. First one is resized 6 comma, and second one is my image image path right here. Let me get down now. Fine, put up the colon, get down here. Now I could make up a variable as new name. Okay, and that is gonna be equal to here. What's it written? It is converted image. Okay, some sort of thing like this. One second, yeah. Down here we have the part 1, and that is equal to os dot path dot directory name. What is our directory name? So into that you could simply put up the image path variable. Okay, for the directory name, you could simply put out that image path variable, and that is going to take up the care of everything. Okay. Further, here we are having the extension. Extension is equal to os dot. Here will be the path dot. Okay, os dot path dot. It will be split split text. Okay, it will be split text. Into the bracket I have here the image path. Okay, and into this I could put up simple 1. Right. Now further after this extension I have the path, and that is again the similar somewhat thing. Os dot path dot. Here we have to join the path. So join with the path 1, comma, with the new name, comma, new name plus extension. Okay, so onto that trick is, what do we have to do here is that we have to join the path 1, we have to join up the new name, and even we have to join up the extension. Okay, further we have cv2 dot im right, my variable that helps right. Further we have the path variable. It is cv2 dot cvt color, that is my convert color, and convert color to my resize 6 variable, comma, it will be cv2 dot, it will be my color, and this time I'll be converting RGB to BGR. So color underscore RGB to BGR. Okay, this one I further above I did to BGR to RGB, right? Now I'm converting that out back again. Okay, this is done. I could take up a variable as a small I. Okay, that is already made above, so I can't make that out again. So I could write up that one second, the saved image is of the name is of the name, and I could put up a plus sign here. Okay, further I could put up the variable which is new name. Again I could put up a plus sign. Here we can put up at. Again I could put up plus sign, and here we have the path. Okay, next we have tk dot. Here I have the message box. Okay, from the tk library dot show info. Into the bracket I could write up here the title. Title is equal to, I do not have any title, none. And what about the message? The message was equal to I. That what message has to be printed up in the message box. This is completely done. Now I simply have one of my buttons to be made it of, that is for the conversion of the image, that button. Okay. So it will be small a is equal to, okay, it will be button. Into the bracket we have top, comma. Sorry, it will be the root, the variable which you made out. What is the text which you want to put it up? I want to put up the text which is conversion. 1 second. Which is conversion of image. Okay. After this, I could put up a comma. And what command is to be followed up? So command which has to be followed up is u, the variable, the function which you made above. And PATX value will be somewhat 15, comma, PATY value could be 10. You could put up any values according to your choice. Fine. This is done. I'm going to write up now a dot, it will be configure, a dot configure. And into what is the background color which you want to put up? So background is equal to, I could put it up here somewhat conversion of image. Okay, I could put it up like the black. Okay, and what is the foreground color? So foreground, and foreground is going to remain to be white. Okay, what about the font? So font. So font is gonna be somewhat, it would be first of all Arial, then the size would be 30, and then it will be the bold as well. Okay, done. Now I'm going to use that a dot pack function. It will help me to put up the things onto a particular place. A dot pack. So the side which has to be packed up is the top, comma, and PADY value here is 50. Done. And at last I have to simply write root dot main loop to close up my complete program. Right? So hope you are very much now clear that how do we actually first of all make up some sort of project like this. Okay, now further what I'll be doing is that I'll be running this out and showing you the complete output or whatever is actually gonna come up as an output to us. Okay, so now before moving on to and getting up like quick output, let's quickly have a quick review that what we did do up right here into this particular project. Because I know the codes were very large, so let's have a quick review that what we did. So first of all, I imported up my relevant libraries which were actually needed up into my program. The very first one was the CV2, that is my OpenCV library. Next was EasyGUI. Third one was my Matplotlib. Fourth was my OS, that is my operating system. And next we were having up the Tkinter. So do you use use? So I did already mention of that's why I am using of this respective or that respective library. So I'm not going to repeat that out. Further, we made up a variable that is root, and onto that we simply made up a Tkinter window. Okay, we simply made up a Tkinter window for that. The geometry for that is 700 cross 700, which I did to try to made out. Title choose to convert. Background I want to set it as light green. Okay, then we did made up a label, and onto that label again I want to set up the background with black, and font I did already mentioned up. Then I simply made up a function named u. So that respective function actually was opening up the file box for me, from where I have to choose that for which respective file I want to convert up and do the sort of things, right? Further, we were having up the image path, and that has been declared, the image has been read out from the image path. Then if the image is not found, so in that case this respective will cannot find out any image. Fine. Then what was our main program? Our main program was to convert our image into different types of images at one single time. Right, so I want to convert that into grayscale, into a smooth grayscale. I want to convert that into the edges. I want to convert that into the cartoon form, and all those things I wanted to do. Right, so the reason I did use of this much types of variables here is the same. So we did make up a variable, and for that we just put up for the resizing of the image. Further, we made up a grayscale image variable, and further we did converted up the color. And further we did converted up the color here with the original image. Then was my color, I just converted my color BGR to gray. Fine. The third thing for the goes for the smooth scale. Fourth one was for the get edge. Fifth one was the color image, and sixth one was my cartoon image. Okay. I guess here inside, instead of this color image, it shall be my cartoon image actually. Yeah. Let's put that out. See, one mistake, very rectified cartoon. Okay, TOON, and here goes my image. Okay. Further, I'll be writing up here. I did mention up the images onto a list. With the help of Matplotlib library, we did made up the subplots, and then we added up the respective buttons and the save options for this. Now let's run out our program and check out that do we have any error, or we are getting up the complete and the final output for that. So it's gonna take up a little time for appearing. Okay, it will take a little one. Okay, so yeah, it will actually come up. We did mention a lot of things here on as an output, as a here output. So it has to be taken care of each and everything, right? So it would take up some sort of time. Okay, here it is. Right, conversion of image. Okay. If I click upon conversion of image, see this file box appeared, right? Now from here I could choose up any respective file. Let's say I have this image and I choose that out. I click on open. Okay. Now have a look at what is gonna happen up further. See, this respective image has been converted as my real image. This is my gray. This is my smooth gray. This is my edge one. This is my blur. Sorry, this is my cartoonish, and yes, this is the last one. Right, so different types of images are actually appearing up here at one single time. Now from here you have the options for saving this out, like save this figure, and further you could save that onto your respective, let's say I want to do it for a desktop, and if I just simply click on save. So that has been actually saved out for me. I could go on to the file explorer, and from there I could just show you for the desktop. So yeah, see here my figure one has actually been saved. I'm just simply opening that out. So this is how actually it saves up the things, and it shows up all. See, this is my figure which has been saved it out here. Now that was my specific reason that I was using of the Matplotlib library, because it's pretty much like easy. From here you could as well click on save cartoon image. Okay. So okay, this has no attribute message box. Okay, we have to do out one single thing. Let's write it out here, and I would just write out here that from tkinter import, and I'll simply import of the message box. Okay, now you could simply run that out, and you could further check up the things, and you could simply conversion of image has to be done up, and I'll be choosing some different one. Let's take this one, and I'll just click on the open here, right? So I just see now all of these have been changed, right? Gray and this edge one and this cartoonish, and everything has been blurred. Everything has been completely changed up here, right? And you could just simply save that out. Okay. So great. Hope I am very much clear with this particular project to you, that how do we make up these sort of projects, and how are these types of projects actually made, and how do they work out.
If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any new update or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoyed this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, so make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on the video for any query or suggestions, and I will respond to your comments.